Boom chakalaka, friends, family, fans. We're back. Episode 106, The Scottish Wish. Coming off a W at the John Deere Classic. Almost turned our Breaking 100 article into another $100. Fell just shy, turned it into $96. So that includes only just winning $36 back on the outright side. So our placements took care of business in a good, wonderful way. Ed's in the chat nice and early. What's going on? Ed, oh my God, I forgot my celebratory peach bush. It's in the fridge. I don't know if I need to go get one. I'm trying to figure out if I want to not drink until Ragbri, which probably what's going to happen. Jeff Bezos in the house. What's up? Talking about some Sami Välimäki first round leaders at 150 to 1. You are mentioning here that you've got a late bias for Thursday. Does that mean that you like the AM guys or the PM guys? Because that's kind of interesting. So I was seeing an AM PM kind of bias, slightly, but not much. Looks like the wind picks up a touch in the afternoon from what I'm seeing. Sites, my main man, what's up? How you doing? And then we got Anthony in the house. What's up, people? Let's go. Awesome stuff. So yeah, let's take a quick peek. Look at what we did last week. Eric Cole, Jake Knapp, both our highest odds didn't quite come through for us. All good. Is what it is. Let me get myself in the picture here. But Keith Mitchell, top 20, baby. Rocking and rolling. He's been cooking in that department for us. Took a dub. Seamus Power, plus 200 for a top 20. Took a dub there. Then we did an Aaron Ride, top 40 at minus 220. That still came through for us quite nicely. And then Lucas Glover, baby, oh baby, minus 120 for a top 40 at the John Deere Classic. You gotta do it. So, I don't know if I have a shoe. I don't know if I have a shoe that I want to do that out of. I feel like a shoe is punishment, but maybe we do one. I don't know. Let's see. I think maybe what we can try and do is if we get enough likes before the show, let's go with 50 likes. I'll do a shoey. How does that sound? Spread the word. Before I get off the show. Before an hour. Let's go with an hour. Or maybe while I'm live. Who the heck knows? Cool. So good summary there. Davis Thompson came through for us nicely in the outright side of things. It's our second outright of the year, so we are very ecstatic. And because of that, $100 bill shirt, baby. We are looking good. Let's go. Second time we've worn it for ourselves. Let's party now. Let's get into the model. Let's figure out where we're going. Some key stats. Do you want to guys know what's going on there? I'm going to have to find a different shoe. 50 likes and I'll do a shoey. 50 likes. I see 31 of you hanging out. So you guys need to get it together. Also, I need to pull up a thing so I can see. I'm going to pull up the YouTube studio here quickly so I can see exactly what's going on. Oh, I can't do it because I'm not in control of what's going on my YouTube. It's through Mayo Media. Run up those likes. If you guys do it, maybe I'll do it. I'll do a shoey. Screw it. Let's go. All right. Here's the model. Let's tidy up a little bit so we can maximize the amount of stuff we have on the screen. Get these guys nice and skinny. There we go. Boom. Here we go. Without Scotty in the mix, we don't have to have this as wide because, thousands of dollars aren't there to be won. No one else is quite making the returns that Scotty was, but now you can see the history, the strokes gained total, all that stuff. Beautiful. Well, welcome to the channel, folks. 4 minutes in. As always, this show is brought to you by rotoballer.com. All the premium stuff you can wish for. Use code SUMMER. Save yourself 30% off. Link in the description below. You can grab that. My Scottish model is up for you guys. All the premium people at Rotoballer can grab it here. Pretty much what you're seeing on my model in Excel is there for you too. We've got like the betting history for all these people. You can get all of that stuff over there. If you want to look and kind of highlight your own guys, I got the key stats pulled up. You can kind of use that for a little bit here to start off maybe. Can't really see too much going on here, but it's a weird situation. The Scottish Open is going to be a weird course. What we've noticed is the weather is very impactful to this venue. So we don't really know what stats are going to be relevant, but we've got to nuke it off the tee, hit those long irons well. If it's windy, you got to be able to chip well. If it's not, you got to be able to putt well. By the way, I owe Mike and somebody else still. I totally forgot to send the model, so you'll get it this week. My bad. Hey, It is what it is. I'm only human. Some course history and then DFS points for all the different years that they played here. So that's what's up over there at rotoballic.com. We have the optimizers. We got all the stuff over there. We got Spencer's stuff. He's been crushing this year. Lots of lots of love for the Rotoballer peep. Hit the like button, folks. Let's go. All righty. So banners, pull some names up here. Let's go. We don't really have anybody in the outright market shy of, they're all above 30-1. So we've got a few names. But I am going to be going to Xander Schauffele, folks, for a top 10. This guy is a beast in the top 10 market. He has been amazing when it comes to this. And they are telling us that Xander, his top 10 market is a 60% rate of return. He's finishing inside the top 10 60% of the time. Basically, Sex Panther of the top 10 world. 60% of the time, it works all the time. So that's what Xander's been up to. And he's plus 110 money over there, over at Bet365, which pays tires in full, is implying a 48% return. So we know that he does it 60% of the time. We know that he's played well at this golf course. It suits his distance off the tee. He's one of the best long iron players in the field. If we go over here, we can take a look at his long iron play. Also, this is all in the model. You can see this stuff here. So he avoids poor shots the best out of anyone in this field. Obviously, Scotty's not in the field. But when you take a look at his weighted strokes gained for the last 12 months, it's better than his 2023 approach play. So this year, the last 12 months, he's third in this field in strokes gained weighted. So his long irons are pretty darn good. If you take a look here, this is delectable because this is all what you're trying to look for at this venue are long ass approach shots. And he's got pink boxes across all four of those metrics. So that's what puts him in that elite tier. And we love him for that. And we're going to go back to him for a top 10, hoping that he can keep it together for us. His top 10 market has been his second best option there. If you really want, you can go to the top 20 market, which he's been crushing. But he only does that about 75% of the time. The top 10 market, he does 60% of the time. So we want to kind of lean into that a bit more because there's a bigger edge there. And just to kind of prove to you, and what I'm going to do with my tool coming forward, I need to still work on a tool for you guys, but his odds for a top 20 are minus 175, and then we lost our edge. So that's why we're going with our top 10. So Xander, top 10, plus 110, boom chakalaka. We're in the chocolate factory there with Charlie, and we're having a good time over in Scotland. Rory McIlroy, he's up, 2 in the model, upside and safety, both of them, number 2. DFS has him ranked number 1. That's okay. We know what's going on. Xander's our guy. So there we go. Rory, when we take a look at his stats, his most profitable market, his only profitable market has been his top 5 in the placements, and then he's won once, and he's about to lose. If he doesn't win this week, he's going to be negative to win because he's 7-1. So you're going to have to return your $100. Got to probably spend, $15, $20 to get your Rory ticket. So if you're dropping more than $10 on that to get your 100 back, this market's going to be negative the next time we pull up this situation. It is Model Maniac time. Let's go. Damn, you guys are. Xander is the Sex Panther Schauffele. Yes, baby. It used to be Russell Henley. Now it's Xander. We got Model Maniac time here from Matt. What's cooking over there? We do not key stones. Yes. Instant Classics knows. He knows how to win his way into my heart. Keystone. We don't even have any keystones, but we'll take a peek. So Rory, no edge there. So we're not going to be able to bet him for a top 5 at plus 180. Nothing really kind of checks out for him, even though his top 5 rate is 40%. Tough scenes. It's weird Scottish Open. The weather isn't the best. We'll see what happens. Ludvig, also same situation. I'm not sure I want to go there, even though when you take a look at all what Luddy gets up to, he's really, really good in this top 20 market. He's been returning about $384, but I feel like he's been a little bit inconsistent since his knee surgery. So I'm not seriously convinced that I'm in the mood for him, but we're going to kind of take a peek and see what he can get up to. And I'm going to leave him alone, probably playing some DFS. I think he'll be a bit low owned, especially with these other guys being so popular, but you'll never know what's going on until we really start seeing some ownership come through. So we'll pay attention to that tomorrow. Collin Morikawa, 4th in upside, 5th in safety, 4th in DFS rank. Cool. What his 2 most profitable markets have been? T20s and T5s. So we've got a whole bunch of guys we're going to be playing for T5 anyway, because we've got some outrights and things like that, which we're going to load up with. So we're going to play Collin the top 20 market at minus 120, 4% edge over there. If we wanted to play him in the top 5 market, he's plus 320, and that's also a small edge. So pick and choose your battles, but we get a slightly bigger edge in the top 20 market there. Gives him a bit of space to manipulate his way around. Let me get this Xander comment down here, because we aren't even doing that anymore. We're speaking about Collin for a top 20 at minus 120. So we like that. We like what he's been up to lately. He's 6th in the field in recent form for 2024. His iron play is pretty darn solid when it comes to avoiding poor shots. He's typically solid when it comes to strokes gained, and I think we've seen recently that his iron play has started to kind of return back. You know, he's starting to see the approach numbers getting into the top 20, which is not where Collin should be. He should be top 5s. That's where Collin's pretty much spent the majority of his time, over there. So, yeah, what's going on, Joanne? We have her in the house, and we got Morikawa is a bum from Edward Gall. Yes, we are never, ever betting Collin Morikawa to win a tournament ever again. But we'll bet him for a top 20 at minus 120 because he's a bum. So there's your second placement bet for the week. We've been crushing those markets lately. Let's freaking go. So we've also bet. We're not going to really speak about Justin Thomas. He's all over the place. He hasn't really fared well in the Scottish, in the links situations the last little while. He's the one guy in the model that I almost want to like drop down a bit, because I'm not too sure I'm in the mood for him. So we're going to leave him alone and go to Wyndham Clark, whose odds have been ridiculous. So we're going to bet. He's our first guy, actually. Quite fun over here. Let's find old Winnie the Pooh, at 45 to you. So Wyndham Clark plus 4,500, 45 to 1 to win this tournament. What are we looking for? Bombers off the tee, long iron play, and putting. What does Wyndham Clark do the best? He does all of those 3 things. So 45 to 1, he jumps up, he does his thing randomly whenever we feel like. His weighted good shots is 22nd in the field. And if you take a look here, the wedges are rough. You don't see too many nice numbers over here until you kind of get all the way to the first time we see a top 20, top 30 number is good shots from 200 plus. So he can absolutely dial it in from far away, at least relative to the rest of his skill set. We've had some struggles, but Wyndham Clark's like, he jumps in, he jumps out. You know, you never know what's going to show up at 45 to 1. At a golf course that really does suit his game, I like it. I think he can do it, you know, and we've had some time off. Maybe he comes through. So we're going 45 to 1 over there. And then we're also going to do Wyndham Clark for a top 5. Because if you take a look at what he gets up to in the top 5 market, he's returned us $109 in that market. You don't want to be betting him in the top 20 because he's hit or miss. He shows up, he doesn't. He's very inconsistent. But when he does pop up, he's finished inside the top 5 21% of the time. So that's 1 in every 5 starts. What we're seeing from the odds, it's implying it's happening only like 1 in every 9. Now he's sitting at a 12% implied probability when it's actually 21. Now I understand his recent form, kind of iffy, but hey, Wyndham Clark, baby, 45 to 1, plus 750 for a top 5. Let's freaking go. This is the world we want to live in. And I think I like him. I saw someone mentioning that there's no real edge. It's Mike. Yeah, there's no real bounce between the AM PM, but it's slightly less windy on Thursday morning. I think it looks pretty similar on Friday across the day. If you are looking for a tiny edge, Thursday morning slightly less windy. But it's also going to be cold. It's like in the 50s all week, folks. So I don't know. We have no idea what's going on. We're not going to really chat about Keith Mitchell just yet, Joanne. Hang tight. I'll pull your comment up here shortly. But we're going Wyndham Clark top 5 plus 750 and Wyndham Clark to win this goddamn tournament at 45 to 1. He's a winner. He dominates events when he's in the mix. And at 45 to 1, that's hardly an investment for a guy that's been perennially proficient in the winning column for us. So look at this. You know, he's still very profitable from a high end rate versus not quite getting there, in the other safer markets. So that's what we like about Wyndham Clark. So Hit the Gala is plus 220 for a top 20. That seems ludicrous to me. It's showing us a really nice value for him over there, and we're going to pull him up right now to see what he's been up to the last little while, because I think Sahith's situation has been 2 top 20s in the last 5 starts, but outside of that, it hasn't been very good. But he's made 4 of the last 5 cuts. That's nice to see. The putt has been all over the place. Maybe he bounces back there. I don't know if I don't like Sahith the Gala for a top 20, so we're going to move along there. But we're going to talk about Max Homa. That's what I want to speak about. And if we take a look at what Max Homa has been up to at this venue in the last little while, oh boy, we've got a 16th and a 12th place finish for him over in the Scottish Genesis Open. The Genesis Scottish Open for Max Homa, we finished 16th and 12th in the last 2 times he's appeared there. And then his first top 10 in a major came at the Open Championship. So Max freaking Homa, folks, if we take a look at his situation, he's 75-1 in the enhanced odds section of Bet365. So we're not getting any each-ways, but we're just going to bet this dude to win the tournament at 75-1. Max Homa, who's also kind of proved to be a better golfer in these links conditions. I mean, he's really found this golf course susceptible to his game. So I'm a fan of him. And then if we take a look at his top 20 market, we're getting Max Homa for a plus 230. It's a massive edge. It's one of the biggest edges we have. 14% average, raw edge over there. So I'm going to tidy that up a little bit because that column's very fat too. But Max Homa, when it comes to like the high upside stuff, it's been a bit of a problem for him last little while. It is what it is. But at 75-1, that's very freaking difficult to pass up, folks. I think if he gets into contention, we can see what he can get up to. I feel like he's definitely going to fire. And like we said, loves these kind of venues, these links venues. He's been playing some good golf. So I don't know what's going on. He's got the 5th best history. So Max Homa, boys and girls, we're going to go to this dude in the outrights, 75-1, and then plus 230 for a top 20. That's going to be the way we're going to go with that too, because that's his best market. I mean, if you take a look at this, he's finishing inside the top 20 52% of the time. So a 30% implied probability at a golf course that he's finished inside the top 20 in the 2 times he's played here seems like a fair situation to take that bet on. So let's freaking party with Max Homa. Boom chakalaka. What on earth are we asking here, folks? Is this that Sky Show? I have no idea what you're asking there, my buddy. No idea. All right, so you know what? Let's just do Keith Mitchell because Joanne asked about it. We'll jump around a bit. So Keith Mitchell for a top 20. Yeah, Robbie, you got to hit me with some. I see you giggling over there. All right. Joanne's is saying, top 10 for Keith Mitchell this week. Let's take a look here. Keith Mitchell's been a bit of a situation, folks. We cashed him for a top 20 over at the John Deere Classic. Wow. John Deere Classic. There we go. Wow. I thought I was going to develop a lisp in the middle of a podcast. But Keith Mitchell, we're gonna bet this guy for a top 20, Joanne. We're going back to him. There's a 9% raw edge. 26% of the time is what it's implying from plus 280. He's finishing inside the top 20 at a 42% clip. It's looking gosh darn good for him, and he did it for us last week again. So maybe at a golf course that requires long ass drives and good long iron play, Keith Mitchell's got those both. Whether the putting shows up or not, we don't know. Maybe slower greens helps his putter because it's been cataclysmically bad. 124th in the field in putting, but the ball striking in this field with Collin, Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Rory, McIlroy, he's 4th in the field in ball striking. So love that about Keith. If we take a look at what he gets up to the best, he hits some really good shots from 150 to 200. So that range is going to be Keith Mitchell's go-to area. And then also with some long irons, he's fine. He's proficient. He's inside the top half for the majority of those things. And, the proximity numbers from over 200 yards for Keith Mitchell's 30th in the field. So that's good to see there. And then the wedges, they've got some good numbers about them too. If you take a look at the putting over here, I've got some slow metrics, which I guess hasn't been his best surface anyway. But we know Keith Mitchell, ball striking is going to get him there, but the upside lacks. So let's take a look and see, Joanne, if you want to bet him for a top 10, because betting Keith Mitchell for a top 10, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that yet, because we are scrolling and scrolling. Goodness me, 650. You're getting a 1% edge, because if you take a look at Keith Mitchell's top 10 rate, it's only 17%. So that's only going to happen 1 in every 6 times you kind of tease it up. Whereas almost half the time, 4 out of 10, he's popping inside the top 20, baby. So we're getting a really good number there for Keith again. He just cashed out for us last week. That's why we're wearing the $100 bullshit, and mainly because of Davis Thompson, but you get the gist. So that's Keith Mitchell for you. Don't do the top 10, do the top 20, Joanne, if you can. If you've already bet it, thoughts and prayers. If you've already bet it, thoughts and prayers. But also, maybe he has a good one this week. But yeah, he's a big believer in finishing inside the top 20, but not inside the top 10. That is Keith Mitchell for you. No, this is not. No. Okay, so this is not Skylar. Yes. All right. Is that what you were asking? I understand. I understand now. Cool. So we are done speaking about Max Homa. We were speaking about Keith Mitchell there while we had Joanne's comment up. We have some other options I want to get into here for the placement market. So Matthieu Pavon for a top 5 at plus 1,200, 12 to 1 for Matthieu. I mean, he just shows up and gets it done in the top 5 markets, but I don't know if this is a golf course for him. Although he's grading out really nicely in the 11th spot there, maybe we top him up with a top 5. So at 12 to 1, I mean, he's one of the most profitable top 5 bets in the market here for us, outside of Brian Harman and Benny On. So why are we skipping these people? Why am I skipping these people? We don't know. Let's go back to Tom Hoge. Beautiful. Okay. Tom Hoge, baby. We've spoken about Max. Tom Hoge's next. And they're giving us a plus 260 on Tom Hoge for a top 20, which he does 44% of the time, is what Tom Hoge does in the top 20 market. So when it comes to Tom Hoge, he's only finishing inside the top 10 11% of the time. So he's one of these guys that has one of the biggest discrepancies. Like 25% of the time, he's only converting top 20s to top 10s. Where everyone around him, these big boys up top here, they're all sitting well above 50%. So that's kind of where Tom Hoge lives, is inside that top 20 range. And that's why we're getting such nice, juicy numbers on this dude. So plus 260 for a top 20. Let's go. 10% raw edge for us. When he's doing it 44% of the time, they're telling us a 28% implied probability. Tom Hoge's long iron play is, just incredible. We can cruise all the way over here and take a look at what he gets up to. It's delightful. His weighted good shot numbers are second in the field. His strokes gain numbers from a weighted perspective are fourth in this field. When it comes to good shots from 200 plus, he's dialed the hell in. When it comes to strokes gain from 100 to 150, he's second in the field. The only range he kind of is mediocre from is where everybody lands up hitting the majority of their shots from on tour. But this week, we're going to have a lot more of them come from 175 to 200 plus. So I'm not too concerned about this. And that's why that weighted proximity is going to be a little bit better, because we're seeing what Tom Hoge can get up to either side of the bucket there. So love what Tom Hoge is going to do. And if this becomes a soft contest, like a soft golf course because of all the rain we've had, Tom Hoge can make birdies in bunches, folks. He's not the best around the green. If we take a look at what Tom Hoge's really thrived at, he's a good putter, and his ball striking is damn good. The iron's definitely doing the heavy lifting. Around the green, he's 114th in the field. Yeah, not ideal. But when we go and take a look, let's pull up the key stats here quickly. What did I do with them? I need to find that. There we go. Beautiful. Bringing it up right over here. So this is what you can do to see. So you can go key stats, and you scroll down here and you see, okay, course history. The greening regulations, when it was nice and easy last year, 65% of the time, these guys were hitting the greens in regulation. In 2022, when it was a bit more testy, the scoring average was well above par. There was almost a 2-shot difference. So you're going to get an extra 2% added in greening regulations for each shot, that you're almost basically getting there. So you want to really kind of pay attention to the weather, because that's going to implicate the whole type of golfer you're looking for. Because Tom Hoge in 2022, I don't know if I like him as much. But had he played 2023, big fan. And going into 2024 this week, I think we're going to see some seriously low scores again because it's going to be a wet golf course. The wind looks very, very low. And for the first 2-3 days at least, let's see what can go on. So I'm a big fan of this. And I think Tom Hoge's not going to have to chip and putt nearly as much as he has to, which is his biggest weakness. And you're going to emphasize all of his biggest strengths. So that's what's going on with Thomas, the Hogester. Love what he's up to. He's been cashing that top 20 market for us all year. It's been delightful. So we're going back to the well there for Tom. I mean, he's returned $569. It's easily the best in this field, just behind Xander. So like that is just the cash cow of them all for Tom Hoge to finish inside the top 20. So we love that about him. We love that about Tom Hoge. All right. So, oh no, dude. Robbie Mines, you are good to go, man. You like, no problem. The chat's going to give you all the information you don't need. Yes. Okay. So Sky, I think he's an American. So I'm definitely not American. I live in America, but I ain't no American. Skyler, I think is the guy you're speaking about. And I think that's the lost for profit or lost for something on Mayo Media Network as well. They never had theirs this week. I think Sky is gallivanting around the States in a camper with his family because it's the summer over here. So I have no idea exactly where you are from, but that's what's cooking over here. Yep, I'm the PGA guy. I've got you covered over there. Still going to start dipping my toes into some seriously impressive things over there when it comes to DP, because we need to know these guys before we get into this Masters. Yeah, the Open. Apologies. All right, so cruising on down. I'm going to get back to any and all questions kind of at the end of the thing here, but while I'm going down and I see some things, I might ADD my way back and forth. But yeah, we spoke about Pavon. You know what? At 12-1 for a top 5, which has been one of his like really solid markets, he's been great across the board. I mean, Pavon has won you so much money this year if you've been betting him in pretty much any market religiously. But that's the thing, is his odds are so bad that whenever he does pop up, he does it well. But I mean, he's finishing inside the top 5 at a 20% clip. You know, he's played 15 tournaments this year, so that's 3. So solid stuff. I don't know if this is an ideal course fit, but neither was the US Open, neither was the Farmers Insurance. Maybe he kind of thrives on these longer courses. So let's go. Matthieu Pavon, top 5, 12-1. Let's freaking go. Easy peasy. I'm in. And I saw someone was asking about Pavon. Matthieu Pavon. Yes. That's yeah. Isn't that Pat from the Tour Junkies? That's exactly where it goes. All right. So yeah, we are looking for Pavon for a top 5 at 12-1. Let's go to that well. Then another guy we're going to be betting. We are going with the hard hitting, the wonderfully enticing individual here on X, Benny freaking On, folks. We're going to Benny On at 70-1. He is knocking on the door for these wins. I mean, we've seen him, I think he's had 5 top 20, let me look here. He's had multiple second place finishes in the last 25 starts. We had a 3rd at the Wells Fargo, a 4th at the CJ Cup, 2nd at the Sony, 4th at the Century. We are just notching top 5s like crazy this year. And that's why we'll also be betting him for a top 5 at plus 1,000. 10-1 for Benny On to finish inside the top 5. It is easily his best market. If you take a look at what he's been up to right over here, T5, 29% of the time. T10, 33% of the time. So that T10 to T5 conversion is a very high percentage because anytime he's inside the top 10, he's going to be crushing the top 5 market too. The same goes with his top 20 rates. You know, like if you're going to be betting him when you're trying to find a market that is kind of an outlier, what you're typically looking for, and I'm going to just pull up Aaron Rye right away quickly because I think he's a very interesting case study. He's like the perfect option. Where the hell is this dude? This will help me explain what I'm trying to get to here with Benny On. All right, so Aaron Rye, he's perfectly symmetrical. Top 5 rate, 9% of the time. When it comes to his top 10 rate, 18% of the time. So that's exactly double. Then your top 20 rate, 36% of the time. Then your top 40 rate, 64% of the time. Ideally, you want it to be 72%, but it just goes to show like that's how the markets almost set these lines for these guys. But some of them, like we have with Benny On, there's outlier markets that these guys thrive in much better than they do when it comes to, like the top 20s and stuff. Like as you're going to a safer bet for Benny On, your profitability seems to be going backwards because he's a spike guy. He either notches up that top 5 or he doesn't. But when he's not doing it, he's also not really finishing inside the top 20 much more than his top 5 rate. So he's not the safest guy, but he's nice for GPPs. He's nice for top 5 bets because you're getting a bet for Benny On at 10-1 for a top 5. So love that about him. And if he wins this thing, boy, oh boy, are we going to be in happy places, yeah, because Benny On has played well here, folks. The Genesis Open last year, he finished 3rd. The Open Championship, he finished 23rd. So there's a lot to really like from Benny On's side of things. 70-1 is a very nice number. Scotty Scheffler's not in the field. Rory and Xander are. It is what it is. They don't win every tournament. Benny On is going to win this one for us. So we are going to be cruising on down here. We've got a few more bets for you guys, and then I'll be knocking out some Q&As. Once we get to the half-hour mark, which is exactly where we are now, we'll do a bit of a giveaway. So, all right, I'm going to hide my screen. I'm going to think of a question for you guys and come up with an answer. Who in this field has got the... Oh, boy. Let me try and figure out a nice question here for you guys. Let's see this here. Okay, so in this field, who has got the highest, the best return to bet to win $100 in every market? So we're going to do the top 5 market. In this field, who has the best return dollar-wise for the top 5 market? So it can be anybody. Pop it through. Only submit one thing. I'll send you my model in the DMs after the show, but I need the guy with the best rate of return dollar-wise who has finished inside the top 5 all the last 12 months. So it's not a percentage, it's the dollar value. So like we're trying to look for value bets and how these guys return all this stuff. We're looking for the best top 5 rate of return in that market. So let's keep it down. And I'm going to tell you guys as we go along who it isn't. It is not Brian Harman. It is not Xander Schauffele, which is coming through heavily because his odds are so short. His odds are so short. He just doesn't get it done. Xander, where the hell is Xander? Let me see. Yeah, that's a fact. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, it is not Xander, folks. It is not Ludvig. It is not Harman. It's not Rory. It's not Wyndham Clark. It's not Tommy. Not Windy C. Not Pavon. Not Rory. Not Harman. Not Ludvig. Not Xander. Woo, boys. All right. So since you guys are struggling, it's not Tom Kim. Come on. You guys are going to hate me. You're going to hate me. But I'm inside you guys' head. Ding, ding, ding. His name was right in front of you guys the whole time. So, Joanne, congrats. I'll be sending you the model over there. Let me pull this up for you guys. Benny On has returned $290 in the top 5 market. Take a look here. Brian Harman was close. He came second. Adam Hadwin, third. Matthieu Pavon, fourth. No one mentioned Seb, Collin, Bobby Mack. I think someone might have. Rory's all the way down here in, what's how many spots back of Benny On? 8. So he's 8th spot. Wyndham Clark, Eric Cole, all making hundreds back there, and Thomas Dietrich as well. So congrats, Joan, on your good guess there. We had Benny On right in front of, under your nostrils the entire time. So I'm glad you sniffed that one out. We'll do one at the hour mark again. I'll have to come up with another question for you guys. Awesome. That was kind of interesting, wasn't it? I was not expecting to see Benny on as the top guy, which I had just covered. So that was kind of like a reverse psychology stuff. So sorry about that, folks. All right, let's get back to the regular paid programming. Let me take a quick sip over here. Also, can someone tell me what the likes are? I might have to do a shoey if you guys get to 50 likes. Don't forget about that one. Let me actually just put it up. So I don't need you guys lying to me. Don't need you guys lying to me. Hopefully that doesn't come through. Yes, that's loaded. 26 likes so far. If I currently pop into my own stream, I'm going to dive out of there so we don't have too much laggage going on. Trick freaking question. You are most welcome, KJ. What's up, brother? How are you? All right. So, Anthony, I will get to Valimaki. You know what? I'll just do it for you right now because we're all over the place. I kind of like him as a course fit. but I don't know what his situation's going to be like. Model loves him a lot more than DFS rank. So in GPPs, I think you're asking about that. I think that's exactly where you want to go. But you're not going to be getting like incredible upside. But at the same time, he's $5,700. So you got at least a bit of that going on there. He hits it so far. You know, like that's the thing. His distance is actually pretty solid. Top 60 in this field, I guess. That's not the best. But he's weighted good shot numbers. He must, oh boy. Take a look at this. I mean, this is elite, Anthony. This is elite stuff here in the 200 proximity numbers. I mean, from that distance, he's incredible. He's very, very good, but that's from the fairway. So that's exactly what's going on there. When it comes out the rough, it seems like he struggles a bit, but he hits them very close out the rough, and I think he's too aggressive potentially because his rough good shot percentages are pretty high, but the green regulation rates, the proximities, the strokes gained are pretty low, which is a very interesting situation there for old Sammy Valimaki. So I don't mind him. I actually will be playing him in DFS alongside you for sure. I like that as a good, nice option for us there. Okie dokie. Trick freaking question. Yes, hit those likes, smash the likes. Yes, you guys keep pumping those likes, demands through the ether. Do we have vibes on DP players? McKiblitz, Southgate. What we'll do, Zach, we'll do some deep dives at the end of the kind of betting portion of this. I've been kind of doing Q&A in the middle of this. The ADD is a bit all over the place. Let's get through the bets, and then I can do some Q&A. We can pull up some DFS points on the left-hand side here. Have a good time. All right, so I have spoken about Wyndham. I've spoken about Benny. We've spoken about Max. We haven't spoken about some other outrights. Let's get to these guys. He has Brian Harman, and we've bet this guy outright. He is the worst. But we're betting him outright, and we're betting him top 5 as well, because he is right behind Benny on. He was second, remember, Brian Harman, for the outright, for the top 5 returns in dollar value. So Brian Harman at plus 850 for a top 5 gives us a 5% raw edge. It implies that it's happening 11% of the time. We know from his track record, it's happening 18% of the time. So nothing too crazy, but we're kind of hedging out our outright as well on him with the top 5. Tires paid in full over there, and it's his best market by a landslide. You know, he's still pretty good with the top 20s, but if we're going to bet him to win this tournament, which he, by the way, he's the champion golfer of the year, Brian freaking Harman, and he's won the Open Championship last year. He finished T6 in the previous Open Championship and has multiple top 20s. Excuse me. He's got a T12 in the Genesis last year and then missed the cut prior. But his last 4 of his last 5 links type events that he's played at the Open Championship and the Genesis have all been top 20s, including a winner. You know, so we love what's going on with Brian Harman. The upside is through the roof when it comes to links golf courses. He's 55 to 1. That's a very affordable price for our 14th ranked option. He's not the longest off the tee, but when it comes to, in fact, he's a very short hitter. But his long irons take care of business for him in that department too. His weighted good shot rate is 26th in this field, and we know how good of a putter he can be. So that's the thing with Harman, is he's putting 14th in this field. Love what's going on there. And on easy scoring conditions, he's 15th. So a lot to like from Brian Harman, who is a turd, but not when he's not in America. So, yeah, it's like one of those playpens that you see the kids that just like they pull all the different like elephants and giraffes, but Brian Harman's just like trying to grab a glove, like from the umbrella as he's rocking and rolling. So I think so. There's a good chance he's doing what he's doing. So Justin, someone needs to type to Justin that he's running late. He's running behind because you need to be live for the outright, for those giveaways, because he's mentioning Wyndham Clark. All right. So that's Brian Harman for us, folks. I mean, this guy's he's basically we're chasing the champion golfer of the year. We'll see what happens. 55-1, solid number. We like that. And by the way, if some of these odds aren't out there, I'll pop them in the Discord pretty much right when I'm betting them so that you can get the best odds possible, because sometimes by tonight the odds have drifted. So sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Okie dokie. So that's Brian Harman for us. Let's scoot on down and kind of find another guy that we want to bet. And you know what? We are going to bet this dude again because we've got him in our pocket. We love him very much. Davis Thompson is 65-1, fresh off the win at the John Deere Classic, which I was at to see happen in person. He was stoic. He was locked in. He was dialed in. No one was going to catch him, and he did us wonders. So shout out to D. Thompson for doing what he could. I mean, when it comes to just his general game right now, it is beautiful. We are seeing his ball striking, his driver, his putting, his chipping. They're all just thriving right now. Like you can absolutely take a look at David Thompson's situation, and it's just very, very impressive. Like in his last 3 starts since the US Open, he hasn't lost in any category yet. I'll zoom in a touch for you guys. Hasn't lost a single time in any of the 4 major categories. Then you go back to the Memorial, he lost slightly off the tee. Since then, it's been beautiful. So had Davis Thompson finished second last week, we're probably going to play the guy here again because he's got distance, he's good in distance, and his accuracy. I mean, look at what's happened here. We've got a beautiful combination of accuracy and distance stacking on each other with the driver. The driver's been dialed in, but the short game has been very, very good. Now, maybe it disappears this week. Maybe it doesn't. Does he go back-to-back? I don't know. But he's 65-1. It's not like we're betting Davis Thompson at 30-1 in this field. We bet him 30-1 last week. This week, he's 65-1. I'm fine with that. We've seen what his game is starting to do. If you're going to look at the long run stuff, not going to be the best, but he's feeling invincible right now. Whether or not he's hungover from partying, I don't know. But at 65-1, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore this win and pretend it was a T2. Maybe he goes and wins another tournament. We saw Xander do this a few years ago where he started going rogue. He won the Travelers, I think, and then went and won like in Ireland at some random event and then dominated when he needed to. So give me all of this David Thompson love. We're not going to be betting him, I don't think, in any other market, though. We'll just take that high upside chance on him and see what he can do for us. So that's Davis Thompson, folks. We're going to be going back to the well there. We are going back to the well. Okay. Next up, Tom Kim. He's 7th in the DFS ranking, but only 27th for us. He flits and flats, but he's in the same situation. If you take a look at what he's been up to the last little while, it's been better. Like his iron play doesn't even seem like it's the best, but he's got the best strokes gained history here at this venue. It's been very, very impressive. In fact, he's finished 3rd and 6th the 2 times he's played at this golf course. So the 3rd being his like almost debut appearance on the PGA Tour. But when you take a look at what Tom Kim's been up to, I'll pull up his data golf stuff over here for us. It's been incredible. For this last little while, we've seen this run of iron play that's just started getting really, really freaking good. And then we're seeing some distance gains as well sporadically, but he's hyper accurate as always. And then, I mean, he's been gaining off the tee for almost that entire 9-week run that he was rocking and rolling. The iron play kind of fell apart at the Rocket Mortgage. It is what it is. So, at a venue like this that he's played well at in the past, when we're seeing like irons starting to really dial in, we're going to ignore this. It was his 9th consecutive start, and it wasn't after any like situation where he'd missed a cut once or twice, like Akshay. Akshay at least had some missed cuts in the mix. It's good. He's needed to relax now. Got the two days on the weekend at the Rocket off, and then also the entire John Deere Classic week. So he has to be recharged. That second place finish at the Travelers, let's just pretend the Rocket Mortgage never happened. He's in good form. 30-1 at a golf course that he's played sensational golf at. So give me all the Tom Kim love. Lost to Scotty in the freaking playoff. I think we're going to see some good stuff back from him here. Let's go. Tom freaking Kim. What else are we going to do to kind of hedge our bets on Tom Kim? I think we can just roll the top 5 out there. It looks like that's his market that you want to go to. He's finishing inside the top 5 17% of the time, which is about half of his top 20 rates, not his top 10 rates. So I think there's some value to be had in the top 5 market there for Thomas the Tank. Let's go back and find his odds over here. Tom Kim, plus 500 at Bet365. Tires paid in full, negative 3% edge. That's okay. We'll take it because we're betting him outright. So we have to have a bet associated with him to some capacity in case he doesn't win this thing and gets close. We want to make sure we're getting the value out of our picks. So we're going to go top 5 at plus 500. I mean, maybe a top 10 wouldn't be the worst option either. Plus 260, maybe we do that. Let's see. Because he's finished inside the top 10 both times he's played here. But yeah, we're getting a better edge if we go to the top 5 market. So we'll take that. Let's go to the top 5 with Tom Kim, see what he can get up to for us. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So that's one more. We've got one more outright, and then we're going to chat about some stuff. And it is Alexander Bjork at 400-1. On the Rotoballer PGA show, when we had John Daigle on from Established to the Run last night, chatting to us about all the stuff that we're going to expect for the Genesis Scottish Open, Spencer teased us with a little 600-1 on Alexander Bjork. That number's been slashed to 400-1. It's a little fun play. We're going to take a gamble on a guy that I had high hopes for entering the year because he just came from the DP World Tour. So potentially this is a venue that Spencer likes him at. We're going to go to him. This guy can do some good stuff on the DP side. We're back in Scotland. Take a chance on Alexander Bjork. I mean, 400-1 is like, $1 turns it into $500 almost. So that's a nice little fun bet. If you're not in the mood for the outright, maybe bet him top 5 in case he does that too. So I'm a fan of Alexander Bjork at 400-1. We'll see. Let's see what his situation looks like. Maybe Spencer. This is a tail, courtesy of Tee Off Sports on X, and give him a follow over there. He's my buddy at Rotoballer. Hasn't done much this year, rightfully so, but his short game is amazing. His putting is amazing. He's a very good putter this year so far. And the wedges are dialed in. The mid-irons aren't the best, but we've got some really, really good green boxes over here in the 200-plus markets, the ranges over there. So we're going to see what he can do. You never know. I mean, his weighted good shot percentage at this golf course is number 1. So that's probably what Spencer's seeing. When you have an elite trait like this at a very important situation, you got to hit those good shots. And if the weather is going to be subdued wind, soft grass because of all the rain they've had, you're going to have to hit it close, folks. Poor shot avoidance is not going to get it done this week. You want good shot numbers. You want to hit it close. A good shot is when you gain over half a stroke on a single approach shot. So that's what we're going to. Alexander Bjork, one of the most aggressive iron players in the field. Let's see what he can get up to, folks. Let's see what he can get up to. Okay, I have 1 or 2 more other placement bets that I do want to mention before we get out of here. The show is kind of all over the place. Apologies, I never got it is what it is. Life comes at you fast, especially after spending your entire life at the John Deere the last little while. Okay, I wanted to mention Eric Cole, who's been playing some good golf lately. And I like Eric Cole for a potential top 5 bet. He's right up there in the mix with the top 5s all the time in the last little while. Was right in the mix again. We bet him top 5 last week. Kind of floated a bit backwards, but maybe he's not the worst DFS option out there. I was in the mood for Seth the Gala. Couldn't quite get there either. I just don't like the fact that he hasn't really done anything good over on the link side of things. We haven't really seen solid results from him there. We do like going to the other options and seeing what goes on in that world. Adam Scott on an easy golf course, he loves that shit. Like, he's, fourth in the field in strokes gained on easy courses. You can grab this out of my model. It's going to be out there. He is just incredible. So, in fact, let's do another one. While I read some comments, I think I'm about done with all my bets. So let's get into the Q&A questions. But before we do that, I'm going to check some questions here. We got Darbo in the house. I'll be jumping to his show later this evening. Go check that out. What's up, Darbo? Xander went back-to-back of the Travelers. And then this event 2 years ago. Yep. And I think there was some sort of an Irish event as well in the mix there. It wasn't like an official golf tournament, but he did some stuff there. I don't even know who we were talking about yet at some point. Sorry. But ask me again. I'll check it out. I've been wondering if I will build a DK entry without an American. Is Davis the top? I don't know. I think Americans will be in the top of the mix there, definitely. But I don't see. This is the week that a rogue Europeaner can show up because it's Scotland. That's what Bobby McIntyre. This event single-handedly got Robert McIntyre, I think, into the Ryder Cup. He finished second to Rory, and it got him enough points because it was a co-sanctioned event. So it's PGA and DP World Tour, and you're getting all the points for a PGA event. So someone could pop up and really get themselves going on there. So hit the like button. We're going to do a shoey if we get to 50 likes. Let me check that out. But before I do that, let's see. I'm going to just filter on here. I want to make sure that the answer is not a rogue one. Okay, beautiful. All right, so who in this field scores the best on easy courses? Who has the best strokes gained average for easy venues? An easy golf course is when the top 5 guys on the leaderboard have got to -15 or better for an average, which we could expect this week, which I am anticipating with the weather being pretty poor. So that's what we're going to do there. So who has the best strokes gained on easy golf courses? I will send off the model to you in the DMs as we go along. On the pulse, I'm going to be getting into DFS right now. We're going to start doing some Q&As. We're going to do all that stuff and go from there. So I'm going to take a look and see how many likes we have on the channel, on the show. See, we've got 39 likes. So 11 more likes, and I'm going to have to go do a shoey. Woo! I'm going to have to end the show quick, unless you guys pound those like buttons. But 39 likes, we're 11 away from a shoey. And the question to get the model sent to you, who has the best strokes gained on easy golf courses? And I'm seeing all sorts of random. Adam Scott, no. Tom Hoge, no. Davis Thompson, no. Ludvig Aberg, no. Tom Hoge, no. I bet it's Jordan Smith. No, it's not. So I feel like it's your boy. Small hands Tom Kim, no. Big hands Tom Kim, no. Byron L, no. Sahith the Gala, no. So keep on, guys. Just because it's an easy golf course doesn't mean it has to be a bad golfer. Okay. It's not Alex Noren. It's not Sung J M. Think about this. Like, I've been hitting you guys with like the obvious answers all the time, and it's been like right under your nostrils. So keep going. Think of some good golfers. Oh boy, this is too funny. It's not Benny on. And if you guys have asked already, it's your time to go again. We'll keep going. Not Morikawa, not Rory, not Seabass, not Tommy Fleetwood. Vijay Singh. Yes, that's the answer. No, it's not. Neil Shipley. No, I don't think so. Even in the field. And here it is, finally showing up. It's Xander Schauffele. Matt, congrats. Reach out to me on X. I will send you the model for this week. Let's pull it back up here. Oh my God, some of the answers were just beautiful. You guys had me in stitches. So strokes gained total number 1 for Xander, and on easy scoring conditions, he is number 1. Rory's number 2, Ludvig's number 3, and then Adam Scott sitting number 4 with the Thunder Bear in 5. So there were some good answers, but the watermelon already said Xander. Golly, did I miss that out? Did we just keep going all the way? The watermelon. Who's the watermelon? Oh my goodness, Shabby Wabby the watermelon. My bad. You know what? I'll give it to you both. Because I already said congrats to my main man, Matt. Shabby Wabby the watermelon. What a great name. What a great picture too. Let me zoom in on this thing a touch here. Wow, that's like a rainbow bullfrog. It's a very impressive situation there, my friend. All right. So Shabby Wabby, congrats. Hit me up on X somehow. My DM should be open. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. Dude, apologies. Darbo knows the situation. It's tough to. This is why you guys are in the chat, is to help monitor this stuff. So apologies to that. But you know what? This way, when I mess up, 2 people get it. So, we're going to give it to Shabby Wabby the watermelon and Matt. I love it. So congrats to the 2 of you. We're going to knock it out the park of, the psychedelic frog. I love it. Okay. All right. So I'll pull up this part of the model here. Let's get the timestamps out the way. This is from some other stuff that I do, which I haven't been doing for a while. I need to get back to the Sunday night research streams, but such is life. Don't have any ownership. That's all from last week. My friend tries to keep calling me, doesn't realize that I'm in the middle of a podcast. Okay. So here we are. So I'm going to go back to, let's do DFS by rank here. So we can kind of just see what the actual tiers are, because I don't care too much about that. The eyeball likes, and then we're going to do a shoey. Oh God. So I'm not. Let's rattle these questions off. So if you've asked a question already, I'm going to try and go back into the comments and figure out what's going on. But send it through again, because that way it's just easier for me to see. But I'm going to kind of scroll back here a long way, because we've got all these random names in here. So yes, this is the portion of the show where we can do some DFS thoughts and plays for the week. We're going to kind of just hang out now and just do it for fun. Circle back to the DP World Tour players with form. Boom. Okay. Can do that. And I think that's where I'm going to stop. So DP World Tour players with form. We can just filter on strokes gained total, and then see who shows up from a DP World Tour start. Okay, so who's DP World Tour here? So we're going to keep cruising down. It's going to be a lot of these PGA guys. You see, that's why I think leaving a PGA professional out of your lineup is a scary proposition. So the first guy that shows up is Keita Nakajima. Now, his percentages aren't going to come through because those are for the PGA Tour. So he obviously hasn't played too many of them. He's only had 3 starts, hasn't necessarily done the best in them. But let's take a look at what Keita Nakajima has been up to in the last little while. Keita Nakajima. I think Spencer's also a big fan of Keita. His world ranking is really impressive, and he's only 24 years old, done some good stuff. The last 25 starts, won the Euro Indian Open, European Open. I think these are all DP World Tour events. So, I mean, another top 20 at the BMW International, or are these like a random? I think that these are, I mean, there's Bezzy, but this was, DP World Tour. So cool. I mean, Keita Nakajima, not a bad option at all. If you're looking for a DP World Tour guy, where is he? We had him over here. So DP, we can make him blue. All right. DP World Tour, cruising on down. I think Rasmus is definitely got to be an option. I mean, he's the brother of Nikolai, the twin of Nikolai. Very good putting in the 4 rounds of golf that he's played on the PGA Tour, co-sanctioned at least. Not the best around the green, but hey, like we said, if the conditions are easy this week, we can expect that from him. So let's see what Rasmus can get up to. I think, the putting's looking good. If he's anything like his brother with the ball striking, I mean, he's in the top 50. So that's good to see there. Sebastian Soderberg, another guy that's popping up here. He's 38th in strokes gained total. He's a very good iron player, apparently, but the putting and the short game is diabolically bad. But Soderberg, $6,400. That's not the worst thing. I mean, he's got an elite skill set, so that's good to see. Bernd Wiesberger has won this tournament back when it was only a DP World Tour event. So I think he's a definite option that you want to be looking at for the DP World Tour guys. He's solid around the greens, but the putting is pretty poor. Great iron player, though. So you've got a bit of that going on there. Any other options that we kind of in the mood for? Tom McKibben, top 50 when it comes to, doing what he does over here. The ball striking 5th in this field. So let's pull him up here. I think that's quite an interesting situation. McKibben, I know Kenny was on McKibben. 21 years old only. All right. So DP World Tour, US Open finished 41st. Played quite nicely at Pinehurst. KLM Open finished 6th. Italian Open, he finished 2nd. And the European Open, he finished 8th. So on the Euro Tour side of things, we've got a multitude of top 10. So yes, love some Tom McKibben this week, folks. Absolutely. I think he might be, $7,000. I think they figured out who he is, right? I think he's cheaper than the majority of the guys we've already spoken about. More expensive, than them. So he is the most expensive of the DP that have strokes gained inside the top 50. I think that's not the worst place to stop about that. Maybe Richard Mansell, whatever you want to go off of that with there. We'll just say that as a final name for the DP World Tour guys. Okie dokie. Back to the beginning of the chat here to see what you guys are saying. I'm hating what I'm seeing with the like button over here. We're at 46 likes. Oh boy. So we're going to have to do a shoey, are we? All right. So maybe we can wrap it up. No, I'm seeing some other questions too, though. If you guys don't bring the questions, I can't help you. So on the pulse, let's see here. If we filter by guys that just say dollar per point, this is kind of what I like to do for my value plays article. You can go smallest to largest. You can do this in the model that I have out there. And then you can see what's going on. But let's just do guys that got let's say at least 5 starts in the model, yeah. And then Chandler Phillips pops up right away. So $5,700, he's $86 per point in DFS. So, your average points are 66 for him, and he costs $5,700. So he's going to have a better dollar per point than Lucas Glover, who scored more points than him, but is $6,200. So, Chandler Phillips showing some nice form, man. He was balling out quite nicely at the John Deere for a little bit, made another cut there. I like Chandler Phillips as a solid option. I'm starting to get very scared. We need to figure out what 4 guys from the DP World Tour are going to finish inside the top 10. Okay, Joanne, that's fine. You can be here for the information, not the entertainment. That's okay. We give everybody a bit of both. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look here. Some other options that we want. Tom Hoge. He's perpetually underrated. Why is he $7,100 when he's averaging 75 points per, start? And he's not even doing it with top 10s. He's doing it with all these top 20s. So that's Tom Hoge at $7,100. Absolutely going to play this guy in DFS. Hopefully he's not too chalky. Andrew Putnam's got phenomenal course history here and has a $6,000 price tag. So he's definitely an option we're going to be looking to go to. I think we go back to another Andrew Novak. I think he's been playing some really good golf the last little while as well. 53rd in strokes gained total. I think what's going on with the rest of his game, solid the further away we get. It doesn't look like he's a big fan of hitting those wedges. In fact, his strokes gained with wedges is very, very bad. But we do like the fact that he's a good long to mid-iron player, which is going to be the majority of the shots we experience this week. So that's probably why he's popping up a bit better. So solid stuff there. He's 49th in distance off the tee, which is also very good. The difference here is poor, easy scoring conditions. He just hasn't got it together there. All right. So Emiliano Grillo also solid from that one range that we were chatting about. This 150 to 200 range is his jam. I guess he's also figured out the wedges lately too. So these are the last 12 months. The long irons are a bit tricky for him. He's going to have to capitalize on the shots that come from within 200 yards for Emiliano Grillo to get it done. But he's also $6,100. So just looking at some value options, that's what we can look at here using this tool. And then if we want to just do guys that are value plays that are, more spendy, let's go greater than $7.99 and figure out who shows up. So Wyndham, he's $109 per point for an $8,100 golfer. So that's another solid piece of value there. Corey Connors shows up here at $8,900. Corey Connors is $800 more than Wyndham Clark. What on earth is that about? Brian Harman shows up for that at $8,600. So there's a lot to like here. Sahith, great value. Victor Hovland, surprisingly good value. $9,700. His 2024, he's like not trending the right direction, but we've had a lot of time off. Maybe he can get it together, especially at a venue where we're not going to have to lean into the disastrous short game that he's still showing up with. The rest of his game's fine. Like if we're going to lean in the ball striking, go Victor. If we're going to lean into the putting, he's solid there too. Less chipping, the better. And I think soft conditions, easy scoring conditions, low wind, that works out for Victor Hovland really nicely. I like that as a solid DFS play as well. Sahith Theegala, I think I like him as a DFS play versus the other way around. Aaron Rai has been putting out of his mind. I don't know if he can continue the putting or not, but he's 65th in putting, and he's not a very good birdie maker. Like if you go over here to the birdie side of things, like the last 24 rounds, he's been birdieing solid, but prior to that, it wasn't the best. He's a bogey avoider. That's what he does the best there is bogey avoidance. And it's just like, on the slow greens, he's just never putted well. So does he continue the putting? Maybe he doesn't, but let's actually just go back to one more bet here. It's going to be Aaron Rai for a top 40 at -130. Even though we're getting a negative 2% edge, I'm a fan of that. So he's been finishing inside the top 40 at a 65% clip. 64% of the time he has finished inside the top 40. So at this venue, he might not make enough putts, but his ball striking will take him to the promised land of the top 40 again. It's just been so very good the last little while. His irons, his driver, his chipping, it's all solid stuff. I just don't know if it gets him to the promised land there when it comes to an $8,300 option that people are going to be leaning into heavily based off the good recent form in the easier tournaments, like the weaker fields. I know maybe he showed up at the Travelers a little bit, or was that the Rockets? I can't quite remember, but he's a solid option there. Sanjay is a great option at $8,500. He can rattle off birdies like absolute crazy man and then make a few bogeys right away to offset that. I just had a spidey sense that I feel like we've reached 50 likes. I don't know. I might be wrong. 48, 2 more. Okay. What were you right about last week? Let's see your strong. What was I right about last week? Let's see your strong spot. Buddy, that is a great time to ask that question because I hit the outright. I cashed 4 of the 6 placements and I hit a 8-1 4-leg top 40 parlay. Not to blow my own skirt up, but it was like the one week I can really just boast about. And you asked me that question this week. So, yes. I don't know. Poston might be broke. Putnam might be broken. But I think at this golf course, Chris Kirk was broken heading into the Rocket Mortgage and started playing better. So at his price, I don't know, maybe at a venue that he's had great success at, we can see what he can do. What are we asking here? Pick 2 between these 4 low-price guys, Novak, Hughes, Ben Griffin, and Matt Wallace. Wow, those are good options. I'd probably lean into Ben Griffin and Matt Wallace more. But let's pull them up. Let's see what's the situation here. Okay, so we got Andrew Novak. Cool, we add him. Then we can do Griffin, which I'm going to say that's my number 1 option. So we're going to just kind of have to figure out who the other guy is going to be. Hughes and Wallace and Gromit. Okay. Add that to the filter selection. So Ben Griffin and Mackenzie Hughes rank 30. Ben Griffin is 42nd. Mackenzie Hughes 35th in upside. If we're looking for spike potential, now I don't know if this kind of event is ideal for Mackenzie Hughes. I don't know what his easy scoring conditions are like. Yeah, not the best. I think Ben Griffin's a better easy scoring condition guy. Maybe Matt Wallace is a better easy scoring condition guy. Mackenzie Hughes, though, he's popped pretty nicely at the Canadian Open. I think that's what got a lot of his strokes gained total. I'm going to go with Wallace and Griffin. Not Wallace and Gromit, but Wallace and Griffin. Ben Griffin's been playing amazing, man. And I guess they are the two higher priced options. If you're looking for a road guy, Mackenzie Hughes, probably in the more tricky conditions is where I want to play Mackenzie. Difficult, where you can rely on the chipping and the putting. You don't want to, the more you avoid the around the green play strength that Mackenzie Hughes has, because of easier conditions, because of higher green regulation rates, the less advantage he has over the rest of the field. That is his best trait outside of the putter. So maybe the putter comes through, but you want the guys to be chipping and putting when you're playing Mackenzie Hughes. I don't know how much they're going to be doing that this week in these conditions. So we'll see what's going on. Oh boy, did we get to 50? I'll end the show with a shoey. I'm not entirely sure how comfortable I am doing one right now. I see 50 freaking likes. Gosh darn it. Okay, folks, I guess. You guys make me do crazy stuff on the show, don't you? Okay. Let me answer some more questions, and then we'll do the shoey. We'll get there. Yeah. I know. It's, if you asked me that question like last week, it wasn't going to be the answer I gave today. So that was quite funny. Okay. What's your background to be that sick with the sheets? Oh, I'm an accountant, man. Yeah. So that's what I do. I'm a Excel whiz. Let me look here. Is there any other questions? There's Matt asking, Seamus Power, Ferguson, J. Smith, and Wiesberger. How would you model rank them for DFS? Okay. I think Seamus, my model typically likes Seamus, but we're gonna have to click here. It's lagging on me. Okay, so while it's lagging, I'm gonna go grab a shoe and a beer so we can freaking do this thing. I don't know what shoe I can't believe this is happening. BRB. Okay, we've got a shoe and a beer. We'll get there. Is the model figuring its stuff out? Yes, it has. All right. So let's see. Power, Ferguson, Jordan Smith, and Wiesberger. So it's going to probably do Power higher than anyone else because he is on the PGA Tour versus the other three guys not being anywhere nearby. So where does Seamus Power show up? Yeah. Power, Ferguson. It's not going to, yes, Power. Jordan Smith, Wiesberger, Ferguson. So, we're scrolling. Here's Jordan Smith. Where is Wiesberger? All the way down here. And then we've got Ferguson, who really just showed up, I think, in the one time he actually just played here. I don't even know where he is in here. So we'll just... But yeah, I think it's going to be Seamus that we're looking at there. It's also weird because I don't have enough information on these guys from the DP World Tour side of things. So that's the situation we're in. But I would probably go Seamus is my guy. And he's playing good. He played really, really nicely at the John Deere Classic. So I think I like Seamus a lot at $6,400. Where's this Ewan dude? Let me find him quickly. Ewan. Yeah, I mean, these $6,700 price tags for these guys is quite interesting. So I'd probably go Seamus still. And then those other, he's 97th in the model. Yeah. So Seamus Power, and then I'd probably play Wiesberger because I think he's likely going to be less owned than the rest of the gang. So yeah. He does. I think you're right because he walks very upright. He definitely does. Okay, folks, careful for like goals. Hey man, 50 likes in a live show. I love it. I'm here for all of that. Actually, I'll do a shoe if my channel hits 1,000 subscribers today. Okay. Okay, Joanne. Catch you later. Thank you so much. And it's time for shoey. All right, folks. I think I'm just double checking I'm not leaving any. Just adding this earlier. Don't know if he is in your pool, but Bobby Mack is getting a lot of talk this week as a hometown boy. He's been doing some good stuff the last little while. And I think he's got good. Why am I typing in Bobby? Got good course history, and he's obviously been solid. He pops pretty nicely. When you take a look, he's a top 20, top 10 kind of guy. I definitely think when you're finishing inside the top 10 in 22% of your starts, that's solid. Now the strokes gain total is pretty bad because he only makes cuts at a 50% clip, but he finishes inside the top 10 at a 22% clip. So he's very hit or miss, which is a nice situation to have for DFS because if he becomes popular, that hit or miss situation, this 50% made cut situation, helps. Now, how recent have all these missed cuts come? Because I think it's still like random times. Yeah, so even when he was winning and stuff, he was missing cuts and sucking it up. He just goes with the flow. So you're not going to get consistency from Robert McIntyre, but you're going to get absolute high upside, which is what you want when he's a low-owned option, and then get off of him when he's high-owned because let everyone else deal with those missed cuts. Like if he's 20% owned or whatever, $7,800, maybe he'll be 15% owned. Let those 15% of people deal with the miscut portion of that. When he's 5% owned, let us deal with those top 10 upsides. Maybe he finishes inside the top 10, maybe he doesn't. I'd say the chances are better that he misses the cut than finishes inside the top 10. So I will put that out there. I mean, just the percentages will tell you that. So that's what you're getting. And even a top 40, it's only 33% of the time. So that's a tough situation. Okay. Yeah. Knee sniff. Knee sniff he's sniffing smelly, Mike. He's sniffing smelly. Okay. Thoughts on Justin Thomas? I'm meh on him. So I don't have the model was suggesting I bet him he's like 4th or 5th in the model, but he's just so all over the place right now. Maybe if he's a low-owned option in DFS, I'll play a bit of him, but I just don't have good feels about JT, even though the model's suggesting so. All right, here we go. So this is my Nike shoe that I probably wore like a million years ago, but I'm not going to ruin a good shoe. I'd rather ruin my stomach. Got hair. I can't believe I'm doing this. 50 freaking likes, you crazy psychos. Got so much hair on this thing and dust. Haven't worn this shoe in like 2 years. All right. Ed, Bushlight, Peach. Let's go, baby. Shoey time. You guys are sickos. All right. What are we doing? But here we go. Oh my God, this feels so weird. Oh, there's an insect in here. Oh my God. Here we go. What on earth was that? All right. That shoe's ruined. Shoey is, it was half a beer, folks. I'm not doing a full shoey out of this thing. I'll just finish the beer. But cheers to you guys. 50 likes. Congrats to you, psychopaths, getting me to drink a beer and a fish mouth out of my Nike shoe that I haven't worn in forever. But let's hit a freaking winner. I'm going to recap the winners here before we get out of here and go from there. 10K above. We got Xander, Rory, Collin, Aberg ranking. Play the lowest owned. Yes. And I'm leaning into Xander big way. I think I really like Xander a lot this week. So I'll be playing him. Shoey Tuesdays. Let's go, boys and girls. You appreciate. It's the only beer I got in the fridge right now. I wasn't going to run to the garage, but I'll finish this one up. Tom Kim, 30-1. Wyndham Clark, 45-1. Brian Harman, 55-1. Davis Thompson, 65-1. Benny On, 70-1. Max Homa, 75-1. And Alexander Bjork, 400-1. One more sip. Boom. Have an awesome week, friends. Whew. Glad we did that at the end of the show. I wasn't going to be able to do it in the middle. Have an awesome week. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'm assuming most of you guys have. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys for the Open Championship next week at Royal Troon. Peace out.